Hey, hi, my name is Chris. Every day I do a vlog. I'm doing it for 1,000 days, guys. Yes, 1,000 days. So if you could subscribe, like, or give me a thumbs up, that would be absolutely amazing. Every day I talk about something uniquely different. And today, the greatest love story you will ever have is with you. I saw a video the other day and there was this young lady on there who said she hated herself. And I think, how can you hate yourself? How can you go through life hating yourself unless you're really upset with something that you've done, something that you've said, some injurious action you've committed to, and you feel that you are in retribution over it. You're feeling guilty about it. But to hate yourself, I think, is such a sad place to come from. And I gather it's been covered by many singers, but the greatest love of all is to love yourself. And I think that's so important to remember that, because in life, I think if you have love in your heart and you treat yourself with kindness, with hope, with joy, you've got the opportunity to maybe spread that to other people. And that can only be a good thing. But I think if you come from a place of hatred, I think those feelings can seed a feeling of resentment, of just negativity towards everybody you meet. And that ties you up then as a person as being difficult, as being horrible, as being somebody that's probably not the real you. And you may have been a victim of circumstance. You may have been somebody that's had something so horrible done to you that the entire world will forever be a horrible place. And you have a hatred not only of yourself but of other people. And I think it's important to say, if you can turn that negative into a positive, you might have the opportunity, the option of maybe changing your life into something positive. Now, these are all things that make our psyche, our psychology, our mindset as people, isn't it? How we view the world and how we view ourselves in the world, I think, is so vitally important. But having that starting position of hatred, especially for yourself, well, yeah, I really feel for people who adopt that mindset. Because what are you getting at the end of the day? You're getting every single day is like the previous one. Your expectation of people, well, there is none. And you don't want to give anything to them. And the prospect of love or having a relationship is completely diminished, because you're at that point where you probably don't want it anyway. And knowing that you're not even open to the prospect of love, and feeling the love yourself, and that might be the remedy. The remedy might be that you open your heart to the prospect of being loved as a person that's feeling hatred. That might be just the remedy you need in order to feel better about life. We're all affected by life. We all have bad things happen to us. We all have challenges. Sometimes it's challenge after challenge after challenge, and it all piles up, and it just all goes forward to making you feel just horrible about the world and your place in it. But your place in it is vitally important. It is, because you're here for a reason. You won the lottery of life. You are a human being on planet Earth in this vast, infinite universe. As far as we know, this doesn't happen anywhere else. So if you're alive today, at this time, you've won the lottery. I've said it before in other videos. It's 400 trillion to 1 to be a human being. I think that's pretty good to be here, to experience all this. And you can't go through life hating yourself. I was really touched by that video. It just resonated in a way that said there must be the hatred is formed out of something. So if you've never been shown love in your life, if you've grown up in an environment where you're subject to awful behaviour by adults, where you're surrounded by the negativity, the harsh words, the behaviors that you learn as you grow up. And then it's only when you see other people behave in a more decent fashion, who are more educated and are able to articulate themselves in a way which is more positive, do you actually open your mind and your heart. And that hatred, I think, probably can be born out of an early interaction. I think as children we're sponges. We are sponges because we open our hearts and our minds to soaking up and learning about the world and our place in it. And as children, we carry these memories with us, don't we? We do. And as an adult, we reflect back on when we were a child, and we reflect how things impacted on us. And very often we fall back on some of those memories and some of those feelings and thoughts. And maybe that position of hatred is born out of that early event, that early time. I think sometimes, even as young as you are, you can be exposed to some horrible things. I get that. And how you deal with things and move forward, it's never easy, but I think it's important to do that. If all you've been ever shown is hatred from people, are you going to want to show them love? More than likely not, but probably I'm sure there's some psychological impact there which would suggest if you're only ever shown hatred and you show hatred to other people, that's all you're going to get. But if you show kindness, warmth and love to others around you, you may open the door to the prospect of having that being given back to you. And if you do, well, that can certainly show you a different way, can't it? And that's the thing about arguments, isn't it? You know, if you've ever been in a debate with somebody, had an argument with somebody, when they're throwing missiles at you, verbal missiles, and they're trying to wound you, if you shower them in kindness and warmth, and it goes against the grain of absolutely everything that you believe in, but if you do that, it can stop them in their tracks and make them think twice about ever considering doing that again. And I guess you can't get through life in a very passive way. Sometimes you have to be active in terms of approaching it and being a certain way. But don't ever approach the world with hatred, especially from yourself. Loving yourself, I think, it's a bit like that ripple effect, especially in the sea here, look, you know. If you give yourself the opportunity to love, to be loved, well, that's so vitally important. If you make yourself available for those connections, and people don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel, and it's important for them to feel that you're a good person, that you're somebody that's decent and kind, and it's important for you to feel that you're valued in the world, that you have meaning, which you do. You do have meaning. And you bring something to the world. The world is an important place for you to explore and grow. And that growth, being that person moving from that hatred in towards somebody who's at least a giving, kind person, I think is so important. In the last 6 or 7 months, I've borne witness, if you like, to some people locally who are completely negative, and yet I've seen abject kindness and warmth. I witnessed somebody here the other day. They came down with a child who was Down syndrome, and the love and the warmth that dad showed to his son, it just really touched me and touched my heart. It really, really, really touched me. It made me realise that there are some people in this world who commit to such selfless acts as being such an amazing human being whose love and care for other people can really shine a beacon to us and make us realise that, you know, no matter how bad we think we have things, there are definitely other people who also have it bad. There's a lot going on in the world, and if you follow what's going on in the news, it's very easy to take it on board and hate everything and everyone. But the antidote to all of that should be love. Should be warmth, should be kindness. So if you start from a place of hatred, the world's only ever going to seem that way. The world is only ever going to feel that way. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest love of all is to start with loving yourself. Because then then the world might feel some of that love brimming over and rippling out into the rest of us. And I think that's a noble proposition. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that. If you get a chance to put that song on, several artists have covered it. I do love the Whitney Houston version, and I think Marvin Gaye might have covered it as well. Can't be absolutely sure. I'll have a look on Spotify. On that note, I'll be back again tomorrow as part of my 1000-day vlog. I'll see you then. Bye now.